Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ngani Titan. We're here in Himmelsdorf, standard battle, winter mode, and I'm in the captured KV-1. This battle took place on Wednesday, and I'm within about 50 points of the 500 needed to get the KV-220, which is really what the thing that I most want out of the Soviet Dream Machines operation. And I want to give a special shout out there to the KV-2 player, Prophet Jokaz. He plays a very prominent role in this game, and I think he deserves recognition and credit for it. But meanwhile, we'll just start off the way things are starting off. I thought, rather naively, that the heavy tanks would go to heavy tank corner, and that I'd back them up in the capture KV-1. I didn't want to be the front line on heavy tank corner, because it's not really up to the job when you're up against tier 6s. The penetration, especially if they know what they're doing, and the damage output of all tier 6s is just too much for a KV-1. However, looking at the map, things don't look too hot. I'm here on my own, and there's no tank anywhere near me in support. The nearest heavy tank is halfway down the street there beside the central park area, and the bulk of our team have gone to the western side of the map along the railway and along the road on the western side of the town. We actually have very little on the hill as well, and we haven't actually made it to the hill because it's slow tanks that seem to be heading up there. So I was getting rather concerned about the situation here, and what should I do? Should I actually pull out, withdraw? Just clear the trucks out of my way, because they can actually deflect or hinder penetration from standard AP rounds. So I decided I'd call Prophet Jokaz to follow me, basically to come up to my corner, because I don't think any tank can do a lot of good down there in the central square. The opportunities to shoot, unless the enemy are being stupid, actually aren't usually that great. About the only thing you can do effectively down there is actually snipe at people at the castle, and you don't really want to be sniping at people at the castle with KV-2. Fortunately, Prophet Jokaz in the KV-2 comes up to join me. And since the enemy have not appeared, and there's just that T1 Heavy now, the T1 Heavy might not be alone, but I don't think the enemy are being very aggressive, or there's a lot of them on this side. So I thought I'd push forward. I have a KV-2 backing me up, and the T1 Heavy versus the KV-2 is really a no contest. Especially side on, as you just seen there. So he did back me up, and it was well worth bringing him along. Now I came down, I wanted to see who was in the side street here and come down this way rather than go straight back. Now as I'm coming down, the KV-2 spots the artillery fleeing east, and there's a VK3001P here. Now he's a tier above me and he's got a pretty decent gun. If he was facing me, I'd have a lot tougher time, because I wouldn't be able to reliably put shots through the frontal armour of a VK3001P. They've got pretty decent frontal armour, but I've no problem putting shots through it from the side, so I get rid of him. Did take some damage there, alright, because the VK3001's a pretty decent tank. The artillery's fleeing now past us, going south, and there's another medium tank with him. So we're coming up here, and the VK3002M, the medium, goes flashing past, and I reckoned I had enough time to go out and put a shot into him before the medium on my right would be able to put a shot into me. Now I'm switching to Prophet Jokaz's view for a moment. He was following me up. KV-2 is a bit slower tank, so he's seen the VK3002 pass, go around the block, and he's coming up behind him. And he's probably guessing the artillery's going to do likewise. He waits for the VK3002, puts a round into the side, but because he's using AP, he doesn't do that huge amount of damage. I think he'd have been better off using high explosives. He'd have probably one-shotted the VK3002, in my opinion. But I finish off the artillery, and then while the KV-2 is reloading, I'd come out and actually finish off the VK3002 M as well. But the enemy artillery's been spotted, M44, up on the hill. So that's probably the one we spotted earlier, that was going out of the cap circle in that direction. And Prophet Jokaz finishes him off with a shot from the KV-2. So we're switching back to my perspective when I'm going side scraping against the Panzer IV here at the corner, and I pop out, and I managed to get 2 rounds into him. He stays around, he waits for the second shot, so that was well to my advantage. Now, I seriously don't think I would have survived this fight if I didn't have a companion with me. Because those 2 tanks coming from behind me would have been able to put rounds into me when I was facing off the Panzer IV, and they'd have put rounds into the rear of me, and they'd be putting rounds into me while I was shooting them back, so I wouldn't have been able to, didn't have a lot of hit points left, so it wouldn't have taken much to take me out. And I also don't think that if Prophet Joe Kaz came down here himself on his KV2 and was alone against those 3 or 4 tanks, that he would have survived it either. But right now we have 6 kills between the 2 of us. So in effect, I think this bit of cooperation effectively carried the game for our team, because if the 2 of us were on our own, we might have gotten a tank each. We would both have died, and there would be 4 other tanks still on the enemy team that would have taken us out. So it would have been 5 against 4 at this point in time, 6 against 4. And the advantage would be decidedly on the enemy team's side, and we wouldn't be putting cap pressure on either. So yes, I think cooperation like this deserves to be recognised and encouraged, because it's what makes the difference. This has made the difference in this game of World of Tanks. The enemy are tanks down because we killed them, and if we hadn't killed them, if we had died or had killed less tanks, we might have felt we had done a satisfactory game. We might have gotten our our fire for effect, but the team would have lost, because there would have been 4 extra tanks alive at this point in time, and it would have been a completely different battle. There's only 1 enemy tank remaining. He was the guy that was in the cap circle. He's gone out. He went out after the artillery and managed to take out one of the artilleries. I reckoned he probably decided he had no chance of capping, and therefore he's going to maximise the amount of damage he could do rather than hang around the cap circle to no good effect. I get a round into him and somebody finishes him off before the game's over, but we'll go back to Prophet Joe Kaz and see it from his point of view. So he continued to the western side of the map onto this road, and he spotted the KV-1S. And he managed to catch the KV-1S before he made it to the cover of the laneway there between the houses on the railway side and the railway tracks, which was a pretty decent shot. He was firing on the move with a KV-2 at a reasonable distance, and that was a very nice shot in many respects, and across a lot of obstacles as well. There's a lot of dead tanks around here. There's still the enemy tank alive. I move into the central square, and he is making here for the railway. Comes along, and he will take up cover here behind this dead tank, and there is the VK3001M. Puts a round into the KV-2, and Prophet Joe Kaz returns fire, does 359 damage. Again, I think he'd been better off using high explosives, because while he might not have done better, he wouldn't have done worse, and he had the possibility of doing an awful lot better. So it could have been a 4th kill for him if he had used HE there instead of armor piercing. So that is it. Game over. Victory. We pick up 1500 damage, get a 2nd class mastery, and first mark of excellence on this tank, which is pretty good going because I haven't done that long. I have 149 battles in the captured KV-1, so that's the first mark of excellence after 149 battles, which I think is pretty good going from my part. So I came number 1 by experience. Prophet Joe Kaz became number 2, got almost 2,000 points of damage with the KV-2. So that was a pretty decent result. So thank you, man, for the assistance and helping me out, and I wish more players would do it, because it really does make a big difference in the game when you find somebody that you can cooperate with and that'll have your back when you advance or go forward. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give the video a like, and if you've not already done so, please give the channel a subscription. I'll catch you all soon. Bye for now.